breaker number 5.
Chad's standing here. Chad's not a nice guy. He decides to throw a punch. So Chad throws a punch. I'm simply just going to take it because most often you're never going to be able to manipulate that arm. It's going to take too long to teach you how to fancy wrap and do all these things. So we're getting down to the basics again. Modular setting for fighting. So Chad throws this punch and I'm going to let it come this direction. Now from here we start looking at what else can I do to do damage to Chad, because again, darker side of martial arts, we're not just going to block in martial arts anymore. What we need to do is finish this man and then get out. So the way we do this is Chad throws a punch, I'm in. Now I simply wrap around and I'm going to go for the break. And let's talk about arm breaks before we move on. If you've never broken a bone in an arm, if you can see this, I don't know if you can see this, this is about a 5 or 6 inch scar along my arm here. This is from having this bicep detached from this type of fighting. So if you've never had that experience, you know that once that happens, Chad was there when it happened, I stood up and left. I was done fighting, had to go see the doctor and surgeon, have it sewn back on. Most people in the streets, when you snap a bone, you tear a muscle off, they're not going to fight you anymore. They've had enough. The surrender usually comes immediately. It doesn't mean we're going to stop beating them up. Doesn't mean we're going to stop attacking and defending ourselves, but we're going to initiate a break. So Chad throws a punch. I'm in this tight blocking stance here, and all I'm going to do is wrap around the arm and hook with my right arm. With my left arm, I'm simply going to push. And what I'm looking to do is snap, detach this bicep muscle here. I'm going to detach, and if it doesn't detach, I'm looking to break the 2 forearm bones here. So I'm simply snapping here. So we're going to speed it up a little bit. Chad throws, and I'm going to break. Common break for martial arts instructors. A lot of martial arts instructors have this bicep detached. Beginning students do this when they're told to do this, and they accidentally detach the bicep of their martial arts instructor. So we use this in real life. This is an excellent technique that if we get hit, hands are up, and he hits me, I'm still in this position. I can still hook around the arm and drive. And this eventually can even become a throw. We'll worry about that later.
Bone breaker number 4.
Sometimes in a real fight scenario, the man will come up and grab you by the shoulder. And while this may seem like a passive move, it can lead to something very dangerous. He could have a knife in his pocket, he could be carrying a gun, or he could be setting you up for his friends. So let's say in this situation, you really need to defend yourself and you need to do something deadly because you know this man has a second follow-up plan. The grab is a setup to something more dangerous. He walks up and grabs the man by the shoulder. He scratches his face, stepped under, kicks him, breaks his neck, stomps his head. Now let's do that one more time real slowly, please. This is a very dangerous move because he's going to break the man's neck, basically. He scratches to get control so the man doesn't see what's coming, steps out of his grab, breaks his ribs. He now grabs him by the head, and this is a neck break. He throws him carefully to not break his neck in this situation, but in real life, he'd have snapped his neck. And now we're going to see it at a little more realistic speed. Whenever you're ready, gentlemen. The physics of this neck break, when he starts to lift him over his back, because of the weight of his body, his neck can't support that. So the neck, the vertebrae is going to separate. And when he twists the head a little bit, it's going to pull him completely apart. So as he starts to do his move, right through here, his neck cannot support his body weight. So when he pulls him across his back, the neck's going to give before the body does because it can't lift it up. Although it's going to follow, the body's going to follow the motion of the neck, it's following after the neck's broken because you can't lift a man by his neck backwards like that without the neck giving. If you're practicing this at home, you have to be extremely careful because it's hard to do under a controlled situation and not injure the person, even if you're highly experienced. If you've done it 1,000 times, you have to go very slow. These guys are highly trained at this, and they've done it many times, so they're comfortable with each other. But it not only requires, in this case, that Matt have control, Sebastian has to know how to go with him to keep from being hurt. And even though it may look like something anyone can do without injuring another person, that's not the case. If you do this playing around and you're just a fraction off, you just crippled somebody. So this is not something to play with. It's extremely dangerous.
Did you know that FightFast also has gear? We carry ceramic and steel ballistic plates, jungle machetes, spy gear like bug detectors and lockpicks with the instructional videos to go with, spring action knives, commando blades, Viking battle axes, and way more. Check out our site right now and I'll even give you 20% off. Just get to the description link below, click on it, and it'll take you directly to our site. And I'll automatically apply the 20% discount at the checkout.
Bone breaker number 3.
Okay, let's go through a basic submission flow. I'm going to start down here. I'm just going to use one of the most fundamental submission skills to teach you the a basic understanding of submission science, and to teach you some ways that you can finish your opponent down here. We're going to start with just what's known as the key lock. We call it the DWG, double wrist grab, shoulder crank, okay? So when I'm in position, this is the basic skill. Let me just show you what the basic skill is. I basically have my opponent's arm in this position, like an L frame. My hand is under here, I have his wrist. The back of his hand is to the ground. I bring his elbow up and back this way. And at the end, you can slightly bring it in towards the hip. So watch, as I'm here, elbow comes up, comes back, and then comes in at the end, okay? That's the basic skill, but I'm gonna show you a couple ways that, how do we set this up? So, for example, remember when he was going for my eyes with this hand, when I felt him going for my eyes? At that point, just stay right here, at one point I can feel where this arm is, trace the arm, grab the wrist. Now if I grab the wrist, what I wanna do is take this hand and push this hand toward his head, drive off the ball of my right foot and reach with this hand so that I can lock this up. Now I've got the tricep extended and the arm's in a position where it's really weak, okay? Now, when the guy's arm is on the ground like this, a lot of times if you're on the concrete, it's difficult to get your hand under here, snake your hand under here. You're gonna have that friction cohesion of the surface of the concrete so you can't move your hand, or you may get caught in the clothing or whatever. So once I'm here, one of the things I may do is actually lift his elbow. I might bite into the chest, causing him to flinch and bring the arm up, something like that, which is gonna create space so I can bring my hand under. Okay, once I got him here, now watch, I'm not gonna leave my head up like this because he could be getting to my eyes with this hand if this was for real. I'd keep my head here, try to bite me, try to get to my eyes, he can't do either, right? Now I'm gonna slip this hand, basically make like a U shape around his head. When I bring this around, I wanna put the back of my tricep against his jawline so that I'm checking the bite. If he sits up and tries to bite, just feed the bite. Anytime a person tries to bite, you don't move away from it because they may catch you. Just feed it. So try to bite my ribs, just feed it. Or I can drop my hip if I'm here. So if I have the arm locked here and he tries to bite, I just do this. If he tries to bridge me, he's gonna snap his arm in this position, okay? So if he's here, he will break his arm as he tries to bridge me. So one of the ways I can set this up, go for my eyes. I'm just here, I'm gonna tie this up, shift here, come here. There's my submission option, right there. Now there's other options. I can go into all kinds of fancy stuff. We're not gonna get into that, but if he's flexible, I may pop this up, go back for what we call a V-back, go to a wrist flex. You can go to a finger lock. I can split, go to the finger, put that on the ground, break the wrist. So there's all kinds of little cool things we can do here. You don't necessarily need all that stuff, okay? So once I'm here, I'm in position here. That's one option, is setting it up by off his attack. So he's trying to attack my eyes. I'm here, I grab the wrist, reach, grab, slide under, get my wrist. Now I've got that control. Try to pull that arm under. Very strong. Flip the arm around the head. I'm going to bring the arm around the head. So in this case, watch my right elbow. Comes around, right against the jawline. Be sure to keep the back of the hand, the metacarpal bones, flat to the surface of the ground if you can. He's going to feel it much more quickly. It's going to do more damage. You bring the elbow. Some people will tell you bring the elbow up and then back. Some people say bring it back and then up. Really, you can do them both at the same time. And once you get near the end, just create like a slight arc towards the hip. Okay, so watch this. We're in this position. The back of the hand is flat. Now watch. Don't let your left hand stay way down here. This makes your fulcrum a little lower. You're gonna get less leverage, okay? Reach over a little bit, like you're slowing down a motorcycle. Same thing with this hand. That's gonna put me in a much stronger position. Now watch, I put my head here, come backing up. Now when I'm done, I can lift the hand, break the hand on the ground, come back, and hit him with that submission follow-up. That's the finish. So I've already ripped his shoulder, then I'm gonna follow up and make sure he's definitely not a threat anymore, okay? So I'm in position here. So one way he's going for my eyes, I'm gonna set this up here. Come in here, bring it around, come to there, okay? Another way, now sometimes you may not be able to do that on the concrete. It may be a difficult option, so I'm gonna give you some other ones. Maybe you just see the arm in that position. There's a donation. Remember we talked about a donation? He makes a mistake. He just puts his arm there, I'm going, hey, well, that's cool. You just kind of go right into it and catch him. If I can't get my hand under, realize I can manipulate this up, I can bite into the arm to cause the flinch, whatever, to get that hand under, okay? So that's another option, okay? Another way that I can make this happen is bringing this arm up and hitting him. If I start hitting him in the face, what's he gonna do? He's gonna bring his arm up. This is what we call a catch option. His hands come up, he's shielding his face from my arm. Look, as I'm here, I just bring this right under. Don't even reposition the hand. Just look at my form, it's right there. Try to pull that arm out of there. He can't get it out of there. I just pin that and lock him. So if I'm here, I start hitting him, he defends himself. If I catch it, fine. If I catch the arm, fine. If not, if I catch it like this perfectly, that's great. If I catch it like this, it'll still create the same effect. So that's another option. Another neat way I like to set him up is with a distraction. So if his head's this way, I can take my right middle finger, hook him in the eye sockets. Let's look at that for a second. I'm kind of blocking him. What's he gonna do if I put my fingers in his eyes? He's gonna want it out of there. He reaches up. As he reaches up, I take the hand. That was a bait. That was a strategic setup. I come in here, bring him around, and there's the submission.
Bone breaker number 2.
Now, basically this kick is delivered in a straight line, but it's to the side. So we are actually initiating this kick from a closed stance or parathesis, if you will. So I'm facing my assistant, Eric Hill. He's in position with his right leg forward, and my target is either the shin or the kneecap again. To deliver this kick, I'm going to use the blade or the entire flat of my shoe. So it's important here to have the right footwork to give this kick its potential power. And again, this is a ravaging, stomping type of blow. It is not a speed kick. It is not a snappy kick. This is meant to slice right through the knee to break the knee. So the footwork is I simply move in and chamber. Okay? Lead leg chambers up, rear leg moves forward. So I am attempting to close the distance or bridge the gap as quickly as possible. So this is the slide footwork that we've talked about before. It's not that you're jumping into this kick. You're simply sliding close to the floor, all right? And you want to make this smooth, very nimble, and the idea is to close this distance as quickly as possible. So it's a simultaneous action. Slide in, chamber. Slide in, chamber. Hands are up all the time. The body in this case is leaning slightly into the kick to add more leverage. And you get more power, more drive through in this kick. So again, the completion of the movement would be to come in, chamber, and then drive. Okay? Now, of course, if you're going to the kneecap, then you simply bend the knee of the supporting leg. But if you want to go lower, then you may have to bend this leg a little bit more to get to the lower target. So first to the knee, it's here, and then to the shin, a little more bend here. And again, it's a drive-through, a stomp, okay? It's a stomp. And you're trying to break the knee, all right? So whether you go to the knee or the shin, think follow-through. Slice through the target. Now, in the offensive application of this kick, sometimes what we like to do is get the opponent's attention off of our lower weapons. We try to get him to focus on our hands. So we may use a distractive motion like a feint. So I may come in, make some kind of preliminary decoy to try to get his visual field to elevate, to move upward, to get his focus or his attention off of my lower limbs. So in that case, I fake, and then I drive the kick in. All right? I can angle with it, I can move around, I can attack direct or from either the left or right side, but my target that I've got to focus on is that lead leg. So again, I can feint, and in the same motion, use my kick to drive through either his kneecap or shin of that extended leg. Obviously, if he was standing in a Sistasi stance where he's open, then I might use a different kick. Although in this case, both knees, both legs would be open to my kick. I could attack either his left or right leg because neither one of them are truly extended or placed forward. All right, so in this case, once again, I would focus on one of the knees. I might choose to use the back leg. So I go this way, all right? And I'd come in on the front leg this way. Feint at his face. You don't want to hit him, you just want to distract him. Get his vision upward. Distract his attention away from this low line attack. That's the offensive application. And like I said, you can either do it with or without a distraction or a hand feint of some sort.
Bone breaker number 1.
This one's called the fist breaker. The reason for it is you're attacking the fists as they come at you when your assailant's coming to attack you. Simply attacking the fists as they're coming at you. Give me a 1, 2. One, two, three.
Okay, we want to cover some details, specifically on the fight ender that we call the fist breaker. Jack, why don't you show me the details of this one real quick, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. So if I'm coming at you with the right cross,
Basic idea is to throw your elbow in the path of that fist. You know he's going to be aiming for your face, body, wherever he's aiming for. You want to put that elbow directly in front of that path, smashing the 27 small little bones in that hand.
okay, this guy's been in a lot more combat than I've been in, but the few skirmishes I've been in, and everybody I know that's a fighter, most of them have a scar going up the back of their left hand or their right hand almost all the time. The reason why is because these little bones inside the hand, they break really, really easy. And so you might go to karate class and they're doing all this stuff, you know, the jab, cross, hook, and everything else. All that comes from boxing. And the reason why it doesn't really work in the real world is because boxers take, what do they have, an inch of tape on each knuckle most of the time?
It's about an inch.
Okay, and then on top of the tape, they've got, what, a 16-ounce glove?
Yes.
That's a lot of padding, and boxers still break their hand, even with all of that padding and all that protection. So how many punches do you think you're going to throw to somebody's skull with these little tiny bones in your hand and come out unscathed? I can tell you, you're going to throw one. And after you throw that one punch, you're going to have a broken hand is what's going to happen. So the whole idea here is to try to help that guy break those bones in his hand. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Very right.
So I'm throwing that right cross. Now what happens if you miss?
If I miss, it doesn't really matter because you would deflect and go off to one side or the other, leaving me with an opening.
Check out our site right now and I'll give you 20% off. Just get to the description link below, click on it, and it'll take you directly to our site. And I'll automatically apply the 20% discount at the checkout. Just hurry though. That special link and this steep discount are only good for the next 24 hours. Thanks for watching our video lessons here at TRS Direct. Hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to our channel here on YouTube. Hit the bell icon and we'll send you a notification when there's a new lesson available. Thanks again for watching.